I'm Kathy and I'm the CIO. Paul, I'm having some issues. Our SharePoint environment continues to grow and grow and grow and morph, and we're really having trouble with our backup windows. It's taking almost 24 hours to get through a full backup. What can you do to help?
Well, it's a good problem to have because that means SharePoint's working like it's supposed to. It means that it's growing and more content's flowing into the system and your collaboration investment is working.
Right.
However, the downside of that is that you do end up with a lot of content and it becomes very problematic to back up. Now, one of the things that can be a huge benefit to your overall backup strategy is take a lot of the content that's your unstructured content, your blobs, all of the videos and PowerPoints and everything that we think of as the documents and the items we place in there, and move them outside of SharePoint, externalize them. And by doing that, we shrink SharePoint down to a very manageable size. In fact, with StoragePoint, we can shrink this down by 95%, leaving you with a very small footprint that becomes very manageable for backups in a small window.
That's great. So if I shrink SharePoint, so my backup is going to be a really quick SharePoint backup and a really quick file system backup. So I'm saving, how much time would I save in my backup? If it's 24 hours now, what am I looking at?
You're looking at something that would drop down to under an hour, basically. If you think
Wow.
about, well, you're dealing with a 95% reduction of content. Okay, so you're left with 5%. It's a very small amount of content that you now have to back up. And the beautiful thing is all of the content that sits outside that's now been externalized to something like SharePoint. We hope that you're selling SharePoint, StoragePoint. We hope that you're selling StoragePoint. Is that content is backed up essentially in real time. So if anything changes, you now have a real-time backup, so you don't have to worry about any lags that will cause data risk.
Great. So what other benefits? If I take all of my content and I move it out to externalized storage with SharePoint, what am I going to see on the performance side?
Well, one of the big things you're going to see is almost a 2x increase in user perceived performance. And that's because the content that's now sitting outside, which is the main things that they're interested in downloading or uploading, is actually going to reach them or go back into storage at twice the speed that it would normally do. And this is because the APIs that are used to move information back and forth on a file server are much more suited to the unstructured data that users are dealing with, rather than SharePoint's API with SQL Server, which results in about a 2x increase in the speed or it results in a 2x lag that they would otherwise have to deal with.